Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm checking out a 2021 Toyota Tundra 4-wheel drive Crew Max in the 1794 edition trim level. This truck is sitting on 275/55 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has 4-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all 4 wheels. The name of this color is Wind Chill Pearl, and pearl coats tend to take a normal color and add a little bit of flare, so this is a really impressive. Even at nighttime you can see when reflections shine off of it that it is a pearl coat. It's really nice. It's not just a normal white color. So speaking of reflections, check out all this chrome here on the front. The grille and all that's all chrome, even part of the bumper. Now the bumpers do have parking sensors on them as well. You can see one here on the outside right there. Now the badge here, the emblem, also serves as the radar adaptive cruise control. It's kind of like a flat surface, and it, two purposes there, radar sensor and emblem. So the headlights and the fog lights are LED, so it has a multi-reflector LED headlight system, and I'll have some footage at nighttime, but it is kind of mediocre. It's not super great for a 2021 year model, but it's not bad. Now there is a lot of just standard halogen bulbs on this vehicle as well, like the turn signals. If you're not familiar with the Crew Max, it has this massive back door, so you can see that in the profile here. You can also see more chrome. The upper portion of the side mirror, the side handles are also chrome, and just kind of matches the front basically. This is what the key looks like, and it's a proximity key system, and it has lock and unlock on it, panic button. It's a fairly light key. It's easy to carry with you. It's not a big deal. It does also have remote start as well. So when you press and hold, you press the lock button 2 times, and on the 3rd time you press and hold it and it'll remote start the vehicle. But generally, as long as you have the key with you, you can have it in your pocket, in a bag. As long as it's on the outside of the door, you can lock the doors by putting your finger over this little sensor indicated by these 2 little lines. That locks it. To unlock it, you put your hand behind the handle and it'll unlock it. You can only do it on the front doors. The back doors do not have this feature. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. The side mirrors have their breakaway mirrors, so they can fold out or in. You can fold them in. They're power folding in as well. They have the blind spot detection system indicator, also a turn signal LED indicator, and they are heated, and auto dimming as well. Here's the inside of the passenger side door. Now it's mostly hard plastics and stuff here, except for this area. You have some nice stitching, and it's brown like a baseball glove. This is kind of interesting, simulated wood texturing, but it kind of looks like Bakelite to me. And the armrest is kind of like rubbery soft, but it is soft. But the rest of the door is this hard touch surface. Has large pockets there at the bottom, even has 2 bottle holders as well. And this is enclosed, this handle is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket. It also has a felt lining in the bottom as well. Now this one has the 12-speaker JBL sound system. There's a speaker here and also here in the pillar. Has Tundra badging here in the threshold. Power seat here for the passenger. It does not go up and down, it just goes forward and back. Like forward and back, tilt the back, and then a 2-way lumbar adjustment. Alright, so you have the leather trim seats with the stitching. Has some texturing here, kind of like an alligator type looking thing going on here with the texturing. Perforations there in the middle. There's also some suede parts here as well. So there's suede, alligator, suede, perforations. So you can see that. I call it alligator, it's not really alligator. It just kind of reminds me of that. There's suede perforations. And it has the 1794 embossed into the back of the seat. The seats are, I think the comfort may vary on the people, but they don't really work 100% for me. All right, let me move this seat back a little bit so we can see the floor mat, which is pretty cool. Has that Texas style with a rope on the outside. It's a rubber floor mat with the carpet there in the middle. Plenty of room here in the front. There's a little storage pocket there to the left, locking glove compartment. And the glove compartment has like shelves in it, so you can organize it a little bit better than the average glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside. You have more of the stitching and that brown, the brown surface here. It's mostly a hard touch surface. Even the dash is hard touch. It does have a handle for all the doors except for the driver's door, which I guess you can use the steering wheel to get in. The size of the back door is incredible. You can see the swing as well. So the door swings out almost to a 90-degree angle. And part of this is because you can utilize the back seats for passengers, but also cargo space. The inside of the back door, similar styling as the front. Even has the Bakelite or wood grain here. Now this is kind of like a rubbery soft surface to put your arm. It's not super cushy soft, so it is technically a soft touch surface, but it's not super comfortable, relatively speaking. So here's the back seat. It's basically a bench style seat. Has plenty of legroom here. You see it has the Tundra mat that goes all the way across. There's a 12-volt power supply and two vents here as well. Armrest. Now the armrest here has cup holders, but man, is it a lot softer than the door armrest. It's nice, soft. I don't even feel any bottoming out or anything. The cup holders are nice and big, but they don't have any kind of anything to take up the slack. So if you have a bottle in there, they're just going to kind of wobble around. So it's basically like this big bench seat in which you can utilize. Now you can fold down or actually lift up one side or the other. So let's go ahead and lift this side up. This is the larger side. It's a 60-40 split. So you can utilize this space for passenger space. Now you'll notice there's this huge spot here that's kind of like taking up. The height of the floor is much higher underneath the seat for some reason. So you can see the floorboard is lower. So that kind of limits quite a bit your storage space, especially when the seats are down. There's not much space there to put some stuff under the seats. I mean, technically you could put something small there, but you can lift up both seats like this and utilize this for cargo. Also, you'll notice that the seat itself kind of gets in the way a little bit. So even though the door is big, it does have some space here for cargo. So if you need put a big box or something in here that you don't want to put in the back of the truck because of weather or security or whatever, this is a really good option to be able to just put something in the back. But the floor is not flat, and which kind of limits you a little bit. These rear headrests have the ability to flip down, so that way you can kind of add to your visibility a little bit when you don't have passengers, which is nice. Now, you can actually take these completely out. If you do never have passengers, you can just take them completely out, and that way they won't be in your way. Now these seats do have the latch system for car seats, and it's right here. So it has like this little notch in which you can access the latch system. And the anchor is there. The strap here on the back is the anchor for that. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it has a pretty traditional cap, tether, and a place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Taking a look at the back of the truck, it has a matte black or a flat black shark fin antenna here at the very top. There's the third brake light, as well as cargo lights that shine down into the bed. Now it has the just standard halogen bulbs for the tail lights and reverse lights and turn signals. All that stuff is just standard bulbs. The backup camera is integrated here in the handle, and it's quite a bit offset, but it does give you the ability to see what you're backing into and also backing up to a trailer hitch, that kind of thing. Now you do have to manually lock the tailgate with a physical key that's inside the key fob in order to secure the tailgate, because it doesn't lock and unlock with the vehicle. So there's the tow hitch and the outlets here. It's a four-way and seven-way outlets here, and you notice they're above the bumper, so that way they're easy to get to, they stay relatively clean and all that. The tag lights are also halogen bulbs as well. Parking sensors across the back. It has a single exhaust chrome tip here that exits the passenger side, so you can see it's visible, but it doesn't exit the rear of the vehicle. When you lower the tailgate, it does have a soft landing. So it kind of comes down softly, and it's relatively light. It is a steel tailgate, but it feels light. I guess because it's assisted, it doesn't feel all that heavy. This one has the optional spray and bed liner, and the cleat rails on the sides are adjustable, so you can put those anywhere on the rail on the sides or the front of the cab there, or should I say back of the cab, front of the box. And then you have fixed tie downs here in the back as well as the front. The length of the bed is right at 67 inches. And with the tailgate down, you got about 92 inches. So that would be 7 foot 8 inches with the tailgate down. This one does have the push button start. And as long as you have the key inside, you just press and hold the brake and push the button, starts it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and you'll notice that the floor mat hooks in place, so it keeps it secure, doesn't move around on you. There's your accelerator, brake pedal, foot actuated parking brake. There's also a non-protected footrest there, it's just carpeted. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the right of center, right in here. Just lift it up, and it goes up by itself. It's just assisted hood. It doesn't go up very high, which is probably a good thing because it might be too high to lower, especially if you had the truck lifted or bigger tires or anything, because it's still pretty good ways up there. So there's insulation and seals around the engine compartment. But you'll notice that the engine compartment, the firewall back there, is not, there's no insulation there. And there's quite a bit of road noise and wind noise and stuff like that when you're driving. So it's not a super quiet vehicle. And so that makes sense that there's no insulation here from the engine. It doesn't shield any heat, and it doesn't shield any noise. So it's just like regular metal there. Now the battery is easy to get to here in the front. And it's a 5.7 liter V8. Of course, is, like I mentioned before, is a four-wheel drive truck. And it has a more of a conventional fan right there, instead of an electric, so it's a mechanical type fan with a fan clutch. So 5.7 liter V8, and it puts out 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque. And considering the size of the vehicle, it's not a fast truck, so it's not like it's going to pin you in your seat with all that horsepower. All this horsepower is necessary for like towing and stuff like that, and just the sheer weight of the truck moving it around. Inside of the driver's side doors, just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So it has two presets for the power seat for the driver's side. It also has like an exit mode, so the seat will move back for you when you get out, in and out. And there's your door lock controls, your power windows. The front two are automatic, one touch up and down. Door lock controls there. So the power seat for the driver's side has a little bit more to it. So it has the lumbar like the passenger, tilt the back, but you have the ability to go up and down now instead of just forward and back, and also a thigh extender as well. So this will kind of extend out and raise up. It's up and down, it kind of comes out a little bit, that area there. Might be able to see the seat a little bit better on this side, less shadows. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. So down here, you have the ability to have the cargo light, the light that's on the back of the cab that shines down into the box. You can have that on, off, or have it turn on with the door. Automatic high beams, you can turn that on or off. The rear window, you can roll the entire thing up and down. I'll show you that in a few minutes. The side mirror is adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. And then you can also power fold the side mirrors by pushing that button. And it kind of clicks in. So once you click it in, it stays in. It folds in the side mirrors. And then when you click it again, it clicks back out. And you can see it, the mirrors fold back out. The interior lights are here, so you can have them on, off, or turn on with the door, similar to the cargo light. This is interesting because you can adjust the height of your low beams on your headlights. So if you have like a heavy load in the back of the truck, or if you're hauling a heavy trailer and it kind of squats down the back of the truck and it effectively raises up the aim of the low beam headlights. So now you can potentially blind somebody. So you can adjust that, kind of do a little quick adjustment to lower it down and then raise it back up when you don't have a load. So I think that's an excellent feature there. So it does have a power tilt and telescoping steering column here as well. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. So it's actually a little bit too far back for me to actually reach the pedals effectively. I would have to move it forward. So I'm 6 feet tall, so even if you're over 6 feet tall, you should have no problem driving this vehicle. And the knee room is good, so plenty of room here. Here's a steering wheel, and it's a leather wrap steering wheel here. And there's that wood on the bottom and the top. And it's a glossy, smooth surface, but it's not slippery. It does have a good, like, you can get a good grip on it. You're not gonna, it's even more grippy than this part right here. So you don't have to worry about that, unless your hands, of course, have like some kind of slippery surface on them. Should have no problem gripping that portion of the steering wheel, which was one of my concerns about this type of material on the steering wheel, since it's a glossy, smooth surface. Has some little grips here as well. So the buttons, all the buttons are on the front of the steering wheel except for the cruise control, which is down here. And let's go ahead and show you that right now. So the cruise control is like this little separate stalk here, and Toyota has done away with this design for a little while now, but they still have it in this vehicle. You can turn it on by pushing this button on the outside here, and then you set it by going down, resume by going up, cancel by pulling it in. So it's relatively intuitive once you get used to it. You just got to know it's back here. It's not on the buttons here on the front. So the buttons on the front, you have your Bluetooth, so you can answer, hang up calls. Mode is your audio source. You can cycle through that and choose the one you want. You can press and hold it to also mute the radio. And then this is your voice recognition, so you can say certain commands to get the vehicle to do certain things. You have to know what the commands are and all that stuff. And these buttons here, it's the volume for the radio. So, and this is the change through the tracks to the radio station. But what's interesting is, this is up, this is down. So that's up on the volume, down on the volume. So left to right instead of up and down orientation. Another thing that I thought was strange is that when you're playing music, say through Bluetooth, like off your phone, and there's a list of songs that go down, and let's say you want to go to the next song down, well, you have to push up in order to get to the next song down, and then this button will go up. So it's like the opposite here. So it's kind of interesting, the choice of orientation, left to right for up and down on the volume, and then down and up, you know. So and I'm assuming that this is up and down on the radio dial as well, as far as numerically. So anyways, it's kind of interesting the way they chose to do it. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side, and then the turn signal stalk is here on the left side. Now it also has the headlight switch here. So you have DRL off position, automatic, parking light, and headlight. And then fog lights are controlled here. So the cruise control being here, the cruise control features are here next to it. So the adaptive radar cruise control, you can set the distance, the level of distance that you want here, and then this is the lane keeping assist. You can activate that here. So they kind of tie this all in together. And then this part corresponds with the screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in just a minute. So here's the gauge cluster, the RPMs or tachometers here on the left side, speedometers there on the right. The oil pressure is here, battery voltage, fuel gauge, and engine coolant temperature is all here. And then the center part is a little screen which has the outside temperature on it, digital speedometer, miles to distance to empty, basically the range, what gear you're in, the odometer. You also have a couple trips. By pushing this button right here, you can cycle through odometer, and you can have 2 trips. You can reset those independently. So using these buttons here, so this is a pages button, and then arrows, a select, and then a back button. I'm going to use these buttons here to show you some of the features in this little tiny screen. Alright, so if we just simply scroll to the right and left, you'll see these little icons right here illuminate. So these are different icons, different categories. So we were in the first one, and there's a ability in this first one to scroll up and down, so you can get more information here, including a blank screen. You get fuel economy, trips, digital speedometer and range, lets you know how attentive you are to the road, according to it anyway, and then a blank screen. My default would be right here, digital speedometer and range. Scrolling to the right, digital compass. There's no ability to scroll up and down now. To the right again, this is what your radio is doing, and when you scroll up and down, you can make different selections. So right now there's nothing connected, but you can change through, radio stations or whatever, or presets. Right in here is your safety features regarding your cruise control. So when I turn that feature on, it'll say radar ready, and we can set the distance between us and the vehicle in front of you. Also, the lane keeping assist. Now that has to be over 32 miles per hour. It gives you a little warning there. It'll go away. Let's go back to get out of that. All right, scrolling to the right. So this is any stored messages will show up here. And then the last one would be your settings. And you can scroll through here and activate or deactivate features as well. In the settings, you have these as well. Adjust your brightness and all that stuff. Scrolling to the right again takes us back to the first icon, which is the digital speedometer, the information basically. So that's kind of a quick rundown of how you utilize that little screen and use those controls there for that. So we saw the start button when we started the vehicle. You also have a tow and haul mode here. You just have to activate that when you're towing a trailer. There's also a trailer brake gain control as well, which you will need because the brakes feel like they are, they're not overpowered for the vehicle. I'll just say that. Just the weight of the vehicle, they need all the braking power they can get for this vehicle. And down here, way down here, this is to reset the tire monitoring system, and you don't have to interface with that very often, so they kind of put that out of the way. So there's a little quick access storage pocket there on the dash, and here's a little touch screen, volume knob tuned through the stations, physical buttons around the outside. This is the home screen, which is a split between navigation, radio, and your phone type deal. When you push menu, you have the ability to put in a destination and have different controls here. Projection is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. When you hit apps, that's the Intune app. That basically you have to use your cell phone to use these. Audio. So let's change the source because we can go into AM, FM, satellite radio, USB, and Bluetooth. We'll go to satellite radio just so you can see what the screen looks like. It has album art and information there, and then you can also go to a stations list and choose the one you want, because satellite radio has tons of stations, so you can kind of scroll through. You can also do AM, FM as well, and then your presets are right here, and you can select the ones that you want to display. So if you want presets to display and you have your album art and all that, you can do that as well. You know, check through different stations frequently. That's what I like to do. If there's nothing good to play, playing on the station, you hit another one. The ones that you typically frequent. Let's see what the navigation looks like. The navigation screen is here, and you can zoom in and out on it. And nothing super spectacular, but it does give you the ability to, you know, find destinations and stuff. Alright, so here's the climate control. Four-way flashes are here. Then you can see your temperatures are adjusted with these big knobs. So those are driver and passenger, which you can use those independently, or you can sync them together if you'd like with that button. Fan speed, where you want the air to blow, this mode button, that's for that. Front and rear defrosters. It does have an automatic function, so you can just kind of push automatic, set the temperature, and let it do its thing. There's also heated and vented seats here for the driver and passenger. Four-wheel drive control is here. You just turn this knob, so it is two-wheel drive now. You can go into four-wheel drive high or four-wheel drive low. So down here is a USB port. So this is the USB input here. These are charge ports. And then the traction control, in case you need to spin tires, you can push that. Parking sensors, you can turn it on or off. This is for security alarm. And then there's a 12-volt power supply here. It's a little storage compartment. And I guess you could put a coffee mug or something in there. And then there's more cup holders, but you notice these cup holders, they don't have anything to take up the slack, so whatever you put in there is going to be loose in there. And there's this long area here that you can put whatever you want, mail or whatever. You can put your cell phone in there. It's pretty interesting. Here's the shifter. It has that same Bakelite type material on it, and it sticks up quite a ways. Easy to interact with, basically, but you do have to follow this path. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And when you have it in reverse, there's the backup camera. The parking sensors are also now active, and it has static guidelines. And you can see from the bumper to the sky and all around, it's a real wide view, but it's slightly offset, so it does have a little center line to show you where that is. There's neutral, drive. And then you can go into and limit your high gear basically by moving it here, and you can downshift in case you need some engine braking or whatever you need to use that for. Here's the armrest. It's pretty soft. It bottoms out after about 1/4 of an inch or so. But it looks nice and it feels good. There's a little storage compartment here. Now some vehicles, some Tundras will have a wireless charger here. I think that's an option. This lifts up, and it has some little place to put some stuff, pen holders, that kind of thing. Little clip. Little huge compartment here. 12-volt power supply in this compartment. But it's just a really wide open spot to put some stuff. Just massive. And there is a place for wires to go in and out of this compartment here. Here's the rearview mirror, and it has the HomeLink garage door opener controls here on the bottom, and it's an auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now. The side mirrors are also auto dimming. See that? Because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is right in here, and it's making it dark, so it's turning that feature on. You can turn that feature off if you want to by pushing that button. You can turn it on or off. Place to put your shades is up here. Seems kind of small. It doesn't really have a place to put, like if you want to have like big Hollywood shades or something like that, it may not fit in there, but it does look like it'll fit most stuff. Has a clip right here, tap lights, pretty kind of old school type. Roadside assistance if you need that. This is for your sunroof. I'll get to that in just a minute. And I won't forget this time, I promise. And then there's a cloth. These visors have like a cloth covering. They have lights and a mirror. They also have the ability to slide out, which shifts it over for, you know, the side of the truck there to stop light. And then there's a little clip here as well. Okay, so sunroof. It has a shade that covers 100% of the light, which is nice. So we're going to open up that. And so it has two buttons. This is to lift up or to slide back. So let's go ahead and lift it up first. All right, this kind of gives a little bit of airflow there. We got to close it first. Now we can slide it back. Push it again. Okay, so that's as far back as it goes there. Pretty basic sunroof. All right, so now let's look at the visibility in the back. So I put one headrest down and one headrest up so you can get an idea of what's going on. It's actually not bad at all. I mean, the visibility in this truck is fine. I hadn't had any problems. There's big windows, and as you can see, the back window is powered as well. So let's go ahead and lower that. I'll show you the button earlier. So you can lower that completely down, raise it as well. So the entire glass goes up and down. It's pretty cool. So visibility is no problem, really. Now, unless you have, you know, passengers with big hairdos, or you got a big, you know, bunch of stuff in the back of the truck, or a big trailer or something like that, then you got an issue. But other than that, it's fine. The visibility is better in the back than the front. It has these pillars that are huge here in the front that you have to, a car could easily hide behind those pillars. So you definitely want to keep that in mind, especially when they're in combination with these huge side mirrors. And part of that is make sure that you come to a complete stop at a stop sign, because that kind of stuff happens regularly, where you hide behind a pillar. My first impression of this truck is that it's underpowered, both in the powertrain, but also the braking system. It feels like it's just struggling to maintain, it struggles to deal with its own weight, basically. So when I slow down, I mean, it does stop, okay? It's not like it's a big problem, but it definitely doesn't stop as fast as you might think. You have to get used to the level of pressure you have to put on the brake pedal in order to stop, which is a lot more than other vehicles. Also, considering if you were to be towing something, towing a trailer. Let me go ahead and accelerate. If you're towing some trailer that does not have a trailer brake or something, that's added weight that the brakes have to handle. Also, I don't know if you noticed the amount of sound that's coming into the engine compartment. I mean, into the cab from the engine compartment. The engine's pretty noisy. There's a lot of wind noise. The suspension system is fine on roads like this where it's pretty smooth, but you do feel pretty good amount of wheel hop coming from the back. It's kind of a normal thing for trucks, but this kind of feels like a little bit less refined. Or the thing about this vehicle is it's 15 years old. The design of this vehicle was done 15 years ago or longer. It's been around for 15 years. So there's a lot of dated technology and dated design in this truck. So they just announced a new style, a completely new Tundra, and so this will be the final year of this generation. So you can tell by a lot of things that it is a dated technology. Now, some people like that. There's a lot of people that want a truck that's a brand new version of a truck that's 15 years old. I can understand that. The efficiency is not all that great. You'll have to go to the gas station a lot. But as far as just more of a basic truck that feels like an older type of truck that has the weight and the heavy duty ability to do significant towing and hauling and all that stuff, this could still be your last chance to buy a brand new one in a 2021 model. But I can understand that perspective. I mean, if they still made a 2006 Acura RSX, I would be tempted to buy a brand new one, because that is a great car. So that beeping sound was the lane departure alert system. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And this is the type of vehicle so I'm driving it without any kind of any weight in the back. There's no trailer or anything like that. If you were to add some weight to the back, or you hook up a trailer with a decent tongue weight, a lot of this bouncing or the wheel hop and suspension issues that will completely go away. It would smooth right out, because it's made for that kind of thing. It's not made to be driven as a car. It's not a car, it's a truck, and it's made for hauling. It's made for work and stuff like that. I mean, it's made for doing physical things. And with it being four-wheel drive, you can now it does have 20-inch wheels and stuff, so you're not going to be doing too much mud work or anything like that. But You can go off the beaten path type thing. Another thing about a vehicle that was designed 15 years ago that's been in production for this long is the reliability. You're not going to have any problems with it because all the problems that they originally could potentially have been ironed out by now. It is a solid truck. So that's another benefit of this type of thing where it's phasing out this generation, this long generation. And this truck it's like bulletproof, So if you don't mind putting gas in it, and you don't mind some of the features, lacking in some of the modern features, you might actually prefer it. Then you got a rock solid, reliable truck.